from that open source to BFSI Merce to Merce going national in association with the Big Blue as a strategic partner to manufacturing Merce to this whole August audience of doing a lot of things in Merce. So we have traveled a long way, and today we are going to talk about change, transformations, revisiting fundamentals, setting our goals, and meeting those goals in specific period of time.
See, my entire career setup is done on the platform created by people like Shubham, Kishan, and many other techies. And when I look at that, in some sense, though not coming from technical background, there is lot of foundation I have built on top of how do I see technology and how the company has grown because of good technology, excellence in technology, technology elegance. Okay, and for me, in some sense, I found it extremely attractive. This is something making sense, this is something beautiful, this is something relevant, and this is most importantly, this is adding value to the client. And client can see difference between good engineering delivery, which we did. And by the way, that time I was not involved into any kind of delivery. I'm talking about initial phase of 2000 to 2005, 6 kind of a thing. I saw the way people were designing. People could see the value we added. And I could see that the difference we were creating in client's organization versus TCS and Cognizant of that time. We were very small organization. We were like less than 10, 15 people. And still they could see the value in us. We created, based on our technology solution provided project deliveries, we created a very long-lasting relationship with client. And as Shubham mentioned, NSDL, like just to give one example, NSDL is been our client for 18, 20 years now. If I talk about National Stock Exchange, they were our customers in around 2000 and all. And 5, 7 years back, once again, they are our clients. And they fully trust us with a lot of their important technology projects. What was our journey like? So we have been pioneer in open source technology. That time, it was a big debate about proprietary software and open source technology. And me being novice in this area, I was being forced taught by my colleagues about what is the difference between open source, what are the principles behind this technology choices and all that. So open source, that time was extremely new. In some sense, we were almost evangelists when we were talking to various financial institutes about technology adoption in open source space. I could see that we had done very interesting deployment with ICICI, Reliance, some of those large biggies, providing intranet, firewall, etc. on Linux, which was very unique at that point of time. Next, we were one of the early or maybe almost pioneer in internet domain. So with security depository, we were the first one who ventured out into providing web-based application for their members. See, understand, when I'm talking about NSE or when I'm talking about NSDL or any of these organizations, they have many other partners as strong as TCS and all that who are supporting them. Okay, and that was the time they come to us for some of the most recent technology of that time and trying to get some solution from us. So again, for us, we have to think very clearly, like why? What was so unique about us, which really got us where even TCSs and Cognizants were not chosen? And so these are the areas. Then came one of the very close journey for me, closest of my, close to my heart, because when I looked at product Sarvaya, so Shubham mentioned about that product. Sarvaya was software product design created by Shubham and his team. And I had decided to go and sell it in the market. And we landed up having nearly 70 clients, around 200,000 plus employees, using this software during some very short period of time, around 2 to 3 years of time, when we used to have heavy sales activity going on at that time. So when I look at Sarvaya, it was a very marvelous product. There were only competitors were coming from IBM, HP, and the likes. Okay, so just imagine a small company of few tens of people competing against some of the biggies, giants like IBM, Microsoft Exchange, and all that. So this is what is our background. During that time, I also started observing that because of our technology prowess, okay, we could really take up something which is challenging, which is beyond normal area of work for us. IVR, we had never heard about IVR technologies and all that. And we jumped into it when an opportunity from Avaya came. Some of the engineers were assigned to this, and in less than, I think, 15 months, we had a team of 30 to 35 people working on this technology. So this is so what I'm trying to bring here is the kind of technology alignment we have been having for several years has put us in a very different space when we talk to our clients. And this was the thing which all of our engineers, I remember I have worked with so many of them together in my journey of Sarvaya, when I was working with IVR in Avaya. So we used to provide, you must be remembering, there is this IVR when you call up Airtel, you get some kind of a ringtone, you get to choose certain options, etc. That time there is IVR which was designed and created by us. It was for Airtel at that time. So as I mentioned, we had our strong partnership with IBM, Red Hat, Avaya, ISIS, Wipro, Novel Networks. So with all these partners, we worked very closely together and we brought our technology solutions to the clients. So here is the thing which we sort of need to recognize about who we are. We are one of the companies who have really helped in nation building by building software, by writing lots of thousands of code, designing, architecting solutions which were right at that point of time for various, national level institutes, right? Think about NSE, what NSE has contributed in the space of at the national level, right? Same applies to national depository, securities depository, the kind of space they have created. So we have been part of some of the largest of engagements which has helped nation building. Now, the question is why I'm talking about change. What has happened which has really brought us here together? What have I, along with my other colleagues, we have been working on? And why we are talking about change? If we have such glorious past, we will continue that, and we will reach where we want to reach. So, well, I think it is not really going to work that way. One is technology has changed. Aspirations of people have changed. Clients' expectations have changed. At the same time, our company positioning needs to be elevated at another level. Today, when our clients are interacting with us, they see a very strong company which has excellent relationship, which is extremely reliable for their teamwork, for the kind of relationship we put on the table, the kind of delivery commitment we have to the client. But as I said, that is not going to be enough. The reason is, what I'm looking at is the technology edge, which we need to bring it back on the table. And that is the thing which we need to do again. So I'll just tell you what my perspective is. Today, when we are interacting with clients, they see us as dependable partner. Okay, do you see this? Do you understand what does it mean? When they say dependable, they know they are going to be there. They know that we are not going to change. Okay, it's a very scary thing. When somehow your identity, in some sense, though important, reduces to just being dependable. They are not saying they have technology edge. And in entire my career, working with Chuvam and all other technical experts, I have heard about technology edge as our unique point. And today it has become a very fantastic relationship. Of course, I mean, I value that hugely. Our excellent engagement with client, our relationship with client is a very, very, very important thing, and it's a very big thing. Okay, for a company like ours, it is very important that we really see it through. Being dependable is a big point. But as I said, it is limited. And now I'm looking at how to expand it. And that is the journey which I have looking at, that how do we do that together. It is not for me to change this journey. I am not a person who has ever written a single line of code. I don't even look at the code. Okay. So when I'm looking at technology excellence, what do I understand out of it? Before we go ahead in our journey of why change, what do we change to? I would like to go through with all of you the basic fundamentals by which we have lived by which has guided us through 25 years of extremely difficult journey together and has still given us confidence about what we need to do next. Essentially, our vision is about three things. And I will explain you what these means. Technology, thought, and talent. So technology is a thing which is our bread butter. Without technology, we cannot survive. Without technology, that gives us identity. Now, when I say technology, what does thought mean? Thought is essentially, see, technology just like any other tool. It doesn't have brain of its own. Okay? Inspiration, that 1% inspiration comes from people who know how to use the tool at the right place, how to design the right tools. That is the thought process I am talking about. That comes from brilliant engineering. We have heard this saying, right? 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. Finally, to see the light of the day for any idea, you need lot of effort, lots and lots. So that is the thing which we are looking at, talent. All of us, all of you who are engineers, I think you know and you understand this very well, that this is the thing from where real software gets generated. And that is where we are. Our vision is to be class-leading solution. We bring class-leading solution for businesses using technology, thought, and talent. Now comes our identity. I think I have spoken about this. And again, I would like you, all of you, to read it. So when we look at our identity, who we are, we keep on doing a lot of soul searching and we keep on coming to one single point. I think you are going to get a little tired me talking about our technology excellence by the time day is over. I think all of us will need a stiff one. We are basically what we know the best, which is technology part. And that is the place we are going to keep on honing our skills. Now I will talk about our values. Now, why we are talking about values and all that, we will come to it a little later. But first I would like you to understand what are our company's values and how it helps us to really build the organization. One of the things we have always understood pretty well, that we as management, as an organization, may not be able to bring uniformity, or probably that is not even desired. But what is required in today's time, or when we are looking at people coming from various background and various challenges, fairness is required. We try to tilt the seesaw. When it is unbalanced, we are trying to balance it out by being fair. So, for example, कंपनी पॉलिसी में ये नहीं है कि क्लाइंट साइड से जब घर जाओगे तब टैक्सी भाड़ा मिलेगा, right? It may not be there. But then what is fair when somebody is working at midnight trying to run a DR site, okay, for a client, at that time at 12 o'clock what that person is going to do, or at 11 o'clock what that person is going to do. Okay, the simple idea is that person will go home by cab. These are very small, small things. Here, there are not going to be policies which are going to help us. Because policies, a paperwork can never really compensate for all the various scenarios. We try to, but still there are always going to be some question mark. So fairness is not sticking to some hard rules, but trying to keep a balance. Another thing which we are, again, from a lot of things which we have been talking about, one thing which comes out very clearly is commitment. We take pride in our commitment to deliver. And we understand how to uh, see a particular project. Here I'm talking about project, but any activity, any task, to see it through. Till the time you don't complete it, okay, we are not going to leave it. That is the standard by which we live. Technical excellence is one of the, again, as I said, I'm going to keep on repeating about technology. And once again, I'm back to technology excellence. So when we look at technology excellence, what do we mean by that? Number one, for understanding excellence, we need to understand what is difference between mediocre technology and excellent one. Understanding the quality difference is one of the first steps which we understand as before we really start working on technology excellence. I would like to give you an example. When you write code, okay, there are certain things which are repeated. What do we do in most of the cases? Copy paste? We copy paste the code, right? At 5 different places. But instead of that, what we are looking at, when we talk about technology excellence, in this particular case, what it will be? Think about that. Is it making sense to copy paste code at 5 different places, 10 different places, or maybe write one function and keep on calling the same code from those 5 or 10 different places, right? This is completely in your hand. This is the culture which we need to sort of, or value we need to live by. Technology excellence is extremely important for us because this is the only thing which is going to allow us to stand in a competitive world of so many large organizations, startups, and brilliant technology boutique companies and all that. One of the important value which we understand is merits. Our organization is focusing on merit-based reward. What is the opposite of merit-based structure? One of them, which is most popular one, is, and I think we see in Sarkari Khata, which is very common. It is loyalty-based, number of years of service. That is the way people are being rewarded. And that is most of the time, more often than not, becomes the only way people are being rewarded. In our case, we do not really value that. Not definitely as much as we value merit. What does it mean by, what do I mean by merit? So we have some people in our organizations who are they were onboarded in our organization as say testers. Okay, in a very short time, with their skills, their understanding of business perspective, their communication, okay, their ability to write well, okay, they had been promoted to business analyst. Okay, some of them are given opportunity of even being project managers. Okay, so these are the things. This is completely driven out of merit. It is not really about 1 year, 5 years, 6 months, whatever. This is completely driven out of merit. Person working in general admin kind of a role, being given a role as a manager, handling a function completely independently. This is merit-based demonstration. This is the value we live by. For us, integrity is not negotiable. This is what we are. You can't take away your identity, right? So for us, integrity is almost at an identity level. How do you measure integrity? It is, many times we think about whether it is good for us, good for organization. I am doing something because it is good for organization. It is good for somebody else. But I think integrity is much more than that. It is kind of, ये बोलते हैं ना, वो अंदर का छोटा आवाज, वो tiny voice inside your head. That is the compass by which you are driven. And that is integrity. Again, this is honesty or transparency as we like to, we look at it as one of the very, very critical, important value. Like to, and we always try to be very honest, transparent. So, what do you mean by, I mean, when we talk about honesty, most of the time we think about, oh, okay, हम लोग bribe तो नहीं दे रहे हैं, black पैसा तो नहीं है, and the entire honesty discussion kind of gets over at that level. But here, honesty is much more than that. Honesty is answering your understanding about anything honestly. For example, again, I would like to give example. I think that becomes more easy to understand what all this means. When client asks about ये job हो जाएगा या नहीं, okay? I know so many of you constantly feel client pressure and they ask you कि ये चीज़ 2 दिन में करना है. You scratch your head and you wonder ये क्या बोल रहा है? 2 दिन? ये तो 2 हफ्ते का काम है सर. Okay? And you really don't know what you do. What I mean, partly because we don't know how to really handle this kind of situation. What we do? हाँ sir. But honest answer is what? To sit down. This, see, honestly requires a lot of work actually. What I would think about is sitting down, writing down why something will take 2 weeks and why it cannot be done in 2 days. Are you convinced? Number one. Second, have you noted it down at bits and bytes level that why something cannot be done in 2 days and will require 2 weeks? Once you are done, now have courage to communicate. Honesty requires courage. Honesty requires hard work. And both of these things are expected in this. This is one of my biggest pet peeve. Ownership. Ownership means what? It means that when a task at hand has been somehow assigned to me, it can be role, responsibility, and many times it may not be even well defined. But when something comes to me as part of the structure and some activity falling in my lap, a project falling in my lap many times, okay, are you being able to see it through? Are you ensuring that you are taking ownership in terms of ensuring using the resources from entire organization and pulling out delivery to see the task or project through, and that is ownership. Shraddha, ये तो मैंने इसको बता दिया था, ये चीज़ चाहिए. That person for last 3 weeks has not gotten back to me. मैंने बोला था उसको, याद दिलाया था, हो जाएगा, कभी तो हो जाएगा, मैंने बोला था. It really doesn't have, this doesn't sound like ownership. Okay? This sounds like some vague statements, vague communication without any urgency, without any, it almost sounds like an orphan task, an orphan project. Ownership is exactly opposite that. You own it, you know you are the one who will have to do it. If it means pushing 10 people, 50 people, moving the entire organization to achieve some delivery, doing that. That is ownership. Collaboration is again one of the very interesting, important value which I think very relevant for any organization building. So one of the things is we do value individual contribution hugely. Okay, somebody's brilliance, somebody's ability to create some kind of cracking some technology or something. Yeah, but when an individual cracks something, learns something, it really stays at a very limited level. So when I look at, so in some sense, collaboration, if any solution which has come out of collaborative activity by a teamwork, I value it much more. As an organization, for organization, it becomes like an asset. Okay? Kyuki it is on the table for 5 different people to grab and probably even another 50 people to learn from. So collaboration is one of the things which which is very close to us. Again, self-motivation doesn't stop only at initiative. मैंने ये initiative लेके ये suggest किया है. initiative can stop at that. Okay, self-motivation requires seeing it through. In some sense, it is kind of, after that, it sort of parallels with ownership. Seeing the task through. If I have taken initiative, I will ensure, if it is valuable, I will ensure that it is sort of spreading across the organization. That is the thing which we are looking at. So what we talked about is fairness, commitment, technical excellence, meritocracy, integrity, honesty, ownership, collaboration, and self-motivation. 9 values have been very, very important throughout our organization building. And in my personal 20 years of journey, because this is the thing which has been my guiding factors. Now, when we are looking at values, let's look at culture. What are the cultural aspects of our organization? So, commitment to excellence. Again, this particular part, it is culture. When we are putting it here, it is not only about technology excellence. This idea of excellence has to be very well understood by all of us at various level. And again, the entire journey starts at, to begin from understanding the difference between mediocre and what is excellence. How do we understand that? Okay, in my understanding, see, I have struggled a lot with it. In some sense, I had a bit of easy task to understand excellence, partly because I had my biggest mentor, guru, Shubham, who always had extremely high standard on excellence, whether it came to writing a document, writing an email, to really looking at delivery of in technology space. Okay, so for me, because I sort of learned I had my career built with help of these people, it was easy for me. So what really it is? How can we look at it for ourselves? So the way I look at it is, the one single way is exposure. Exposure today compared to earlier time is far easy. You have access to lot of information on internet. You have access to various forums, various blogs, various webinars, which you can easily attend. Try to understand what excellence means. What are the differences between one solution and the other one? Okay, so this is where our focus needs to be. And this applies not only to technology area, it applies to whether it is HR function or where it is accounts function or anything. One has access to information. Information itself per se will not suffice. But understanding the differences of quality will eventually drive you to understanding of excellence. Now, our organization, I think this is something many of you would have experienced personally. We are a diverse company. Our decisions are not based on genders, for example. Okay, it doesn't based on caste, class, races, any of these things. We only look at, again, this you can very clearly connect it with merit, right? We are merit-driven organization. So if somebody can deliver something, they are there. So I would again like to give here example of female employee, a young girl getting pregnant, having difficult time operating from office, given a lot of flexibility working from home. Another girl with a child needed to learn certain technology from another partner company. It was required for her to travel to another city. Okay, we really don't have any answers for this. How do you make that person leave her young child and go for 3 days outside city? What we did, we sponsored her, her child, her mother, and we ensured that something will work out. We will see. Nobody has an answer. So diversity comes with that idea. You know, it was not like, okay, ye nahi hai, ladke hi lena padenge, because these people will have problems, you know. Yeah, if there will be problems, we will solve it. That is the whole idea. Open door policy is one of the, I think again, many of you, in last 2 years, especially due to COVID, Many of you have not even visited office, right? Probably not Merce office nor your client location where you are primarily operating from. So how does it make sense? I mean, one of the things I see it as uh, we really like to, I know organization has become a little larger than what it was, but we are accessible to you for whether any issues, any struggle you have, any kind of comment you may need to make. Okay, so I personally would like to understand what are your challenges or what are your suggestions, and it is available. Next is flexi timing and work from home. Again, we have been very much flexible about this particular part. And this is not really as new as 2 years old COVID. So when we talk about flexi timing and work from home culture, this is as old as probably 15 years. Since 15 years, we have been doing this. So broadside product, I think many of you know, I don't know whether other people, all of you know about it. So we have one of the products called broadside. The broadside code was written by our ex-colleague, Saurabh Hirani, singularly sitting at home from Baroda. In 1 year, he wrote the entire product. Okay, working very closely with Shivam and maybe another 1 or 2 people. So work from home is not really something new for us. Something, in fact, we encourage it. It is, if you need it, yeah, I mean, why not? It makes perfect sense. If you can manage your personal life, family life, and still you can deliver, maybe at a little different time, we will adjust for you. That's the way we look at it. So driving to closure. Driving to closure is once again idea about ownership, ensuring that delivery takes place, and ensuring that a particular activity, task, project comes to a closure. It is not hanging loose up in the air. Okay, if something is not working out, there has to be courage to call it off. Okay, and that is called closure. This all consists of part of our culture, and one of the very, very important thing, which is service level norms, which I would like to explain a little bit. Uh, when we talk about service level norm, you know, there is this large categorization of industries, right? There is service organization, there are manufacturing organization, okay? So when we say service level norms, we fall under services category. And service being the only thing which really matters. That is the only thing we know how to give. So when you people write code, okay, it's a service given. Okay, when HR passes on offer letter or gives some kind of documentation, when they give you explanation about various policies, that is service level. Service which they are providing you. When accounts makes payment of salary on time is called service, provided by accounts to all of us. Now, here, now you just imagine there are like a lot of services we have been talking about, like whether it is coder or when it comes to HR or anything. Now think about, this is most interesting example. Just imagine an accounts department, just like many other department, decides to delay the salary payment. No bad intention. Okay, full sincerity. थोड़ा देर हो गया, टाइमलाइन थोड़ा मिस हो गया, एक हफ्ता थोड़ा डिले करेंगे, otherwise तो we are on time. Right? That particular service level norm, all of us are very aware of. That account से salary time पे आना चाहिए. The same amount of commitment each of us need to give for each of our functions. Whether it is HR, whether it is project management, whether it is software writing. You just always think about the amount of pressure and delivery challenge an accounts person has, and how without fail, month after month, that person is complying without even failing once. How does it happen? That is what is service level norm for us. What are the things by which Merce lives by, if I may say so? there are four things which we are completely committed to: clients, employees, environment, and our own business. So when we talk about client, our commitment to client has to be highest. And highest not only in terms of reaching on time, talking nicely, wearing right clothes. Again, I will once again here come back and pull out the thread of technology. We have to be very sensitive about what is technology excellence, and that is the delivery which we are bringing in. That is the service we are offering to our clients. When we look at employees, when we talk about all of us, all of you, okay, one of the important thing is we have to ensure that your working environment is extremely positive. Okay, we ensure that when you are working at client's place or where you are working in office, the environment is conducive where you are being able to operate at your optimal. And that is the commitment which we give to all of you. We are committed to our business. Business is our core. Okay. If we are not committed to our business, why are we here? So it really doesn't require much of explanation, you know. And the fourth pillar, which is very, very important. In fact, without that, you, me, organization, none of these survive. None of these things exist. It is our environment. Environment can be socio-economy, environment in terms of trees plantation and all that stuff. We are committed that we will be contributing to some of these initiatives year on year. We have already been doing for last couple of years, and we are committed to do more than that year on year. So the change. So I am again taking a full circle. What we are looking at, as we talked about some of these things, our focus with our client, our delivery, our people has been about how to make it very positive environment for each of us. How do we work with client so that client is getting steady, dependable delivery from us, from our people. Now, the change we are looking at it bringing on the table once again technology brilliance. This is the way we are planning to achieve higher client satisfaction because we are very dependable. And another thing is because we are technically very brilliant. And the second part also needs to come in. When I'm looking at this entire setup, what I want to bring by this change is I want to make your 8 hours extremely fulfilling, extremely challenging, hardworking, and all that. But most importantly, I want each of you to be proud of what you are doing. And how can you be proud about your own setup? Okay, it is not going to come from client. It is not going to come from Merce's value and all that. It is only going to come from one singular thing, which is that you have to be proud of it. When you think you are proud of the work you are doing for 8 hours, 10 hours a day, when you are contributing it to your clients, when you are adding value to your team, when you see that your contribution is helping company grow, you personally grow, okay, that is the only way you will be ever happy. That is the only way you will be ever proud of yourself. What I want to bring on the table is your work should be so fulfilling. Your work should be so technology centric that your work will help you live your rest of the life better. It's the other way around. Nobody can help for all our personal lives, right? We keep on coming across problem, we need to solve that. And we keep on struggling with one of the additional problem, that is work life. But now just imagine for 8 hours, you are completely engrossed, you are involved, you are communicating, you are bringing in value add into the projects, into the system which you are working in. Okay? How fulfilling and satisfying it will be. For 8 hours, actually you will not have any problems. 8 hours a day is really a long time when you forget your problems. And probably that pride will really help you sort your personal life better. How's that? Instead of the other way around. हम लोग ये product company का story सुनते हैं, right? Brilliant engineers and all that. Okay. वो WhatsApp का story. Some very tiny team. So just imagine the kind of dedication they worked with to create this kind of complex app. The amount of satisfaction they would have got by creating an app like this. वो multi-million dollars में वो Facebook उसको खरीद लिया. वो 4 लोगों का software. You are given an opportunity to work on some of the brilliant applications. And as I said, like whether it is nation building, large scale, which requires security, robustness. What I want you to see is how proud can you be in terms of what you can contribute. I want you to see that and be attracted to your own job where rest of the things don't matter that much. And that is the thing which I want to bring on the table. So along with this, we need to, so how can we do this? Some of these changes. So I'm talking about some of the best practices we need to bring into this, our culture, the way of our operations. I will come to it more in detail when I'm discussing Project Shakti. Then another thing which we have been looking at is, see, some of our clients over last many years have got certain systems in place. Those systems which are built by us, many times by other organizations, they have achieved large scale security, robustness. And for last 15 years, literally for last 15 years, they have been using the same system. Okay? There is no potential for risk taking for them. There are financial houses here. Okay? They can't play with people's money. They will always be scared to change. Okay? So what change we need to bring in our approach is digital transformation, cloud practices. These are the things we need to bring in. And you will start seeing those changes in our organization. You will start hearing about these things happening in our organization by way of some kind of initiatives we are taking, where we will be asking you to join into that courses and all that. Okay? So that is the change we are looking for. And most importantly, we are hoping with all of these things put together, it is going to bring us advantage to scale. So scale up is one of the very important thing finally, everything will culminate to that. After discussing about our journey, our values, culture, what is our guiding principles in our organization operations, okay? Now we need to see when we are looking at change, what are we looking at? And all those aspects we have tried to put together under Project Shakti.